This woman thought she was buying a fake diamond, but the reality would change her life forever.
But before we start, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and smash that like button. We really appreciate your continuous support.
We all know the saying, diamonds are a girl's best friend. What girl doesn't love a nice shiny diamond ring or necklace to add to her jewelry collection? But also, we all know that diamonds can be incredibly expensive, and it can be difficult to afford to buy them, let alone insuring them and making sure you take care of them properly. This is why many people often end up buying fake diamonds. They can look almost as nice and are much more affordable. But for one woman, when what she thought was a fake diamond turned out to be something very different, her life changed forever. It all started back in London, England during the 1980s. One woman was having a perfectly normal day and decided to stop by a car boot sale at West Middlesex Hospital in West London. While she was there, her eye was caught by a particularly large and pretty-looking fake diamond ring. It wasn't the most convincing because it wasn't that shiny or bright, but nonetheless, the shopper decided that this lovely piece of costume jewelry would be perfect for her collection. She had no idea that she was about to seal her own fate. If you haven't heard of a car boot sale before, it's basically the British equivalent of a yard sale or flea market. People gather in a parking lot or similar area and set up stores to sell their secondhand items out of their trunks, called boots in British English. It's well known that you can find real bargains at these sort of sales, so this woman knew what she was doing when she managed to barter this ring down to a $15 price tag. She knew she got a good deal, but she had no idea the truth of the item she had just purchased. Obviously, the main reason people buy fake diamonds rather than real ones is because they're much more affordable. Not many of us can spare a few $1,000s to spring on a ring. But another good thing about that is when your rings or jewelry aren't that expensive, you can wear them much more often without worrying about them getting lost or damaged. And so, after this woman bought her ring, she wore it pretty much every day for 30 years. Not only did this woman wear her ring almost every day for over these years, but she also wore it while she was out and about doing her daily activities. Jessica Wyndham, head of UK auction house Sotheby's London jewelry department, spoke to the BBC about the ring's regular use. The owner would wear it out shopping, wear it day to day, she said. It's a good-looking ring. But why would wearing a ring for your everyday activities be a strange idea? And why was a woman from Sotheby's talking about it in the news? Keep watching to find out. When this woman bought her lovely ring from the car boot sale, she knew she was purchasing an old and artificial diamond. Not only because she was buying it for $15 from someone's trunk, but because it didn't look like a real diamond. Don't get us wrong, it was pretty big, but it just didn't have that special sparkly quality or extra shine that real diamonds have. But little did she know the true quality and worth of this ring would completely blow her mind. The truth was that the woman at the car boot sale did not really think much at all about buying this ring. She simply thought it was a nice-looking piece of jewelry that would look great with her collection. In fact, it was so big and obviously fake that she assumed it was some sort of costume accessory rather than a real piece of jewelry. It was bought as a costume jewel, said Wyndham. No one had any idea it had any intrinsic value at all. They enjoyed it all this time. However, the ring's owner was about to get a piece of advice that would change her life forever. For many years after buying the ring, the woman wore it happily for her everyday activities and regular life. She loved it so much that she didn't ever think about what it might actually be worth in terms of money. She just knew it was valuable to her as a much-loved accessory. But one day, about 30 years after she first bought it, a jeweler glanced at the ring and advised her to get it checked, because this jeweler thought that this humble ring might actually be worth more than the woman had originally thought. After the woman spoke to this jeweler, who suggested that the ring might actually be a real diamond and possibly of some value, it was immediately clear what she needed to do. And so she headed off to the renowned auction center in London, Sotheby's, to ask them if they could help work out the true value of this ring. They came in with the idea that it might be real, said Wyndham. They had no idea of its value. No one had any idea what they were about to discover. Of course, once they brought the ring into Sotheby's for testing and valuation, they were one step closer on their quest to find out the truth about this much-loved item of jewelry. But the truth was, the ring was so rare and special that even Sotheby's needed a bit of extra help. The auction house works in conjunction with many other places to try and ensure the correct value for each item. "We had a look," said Wyndham, before adding that they got it tested at the Gemological Institute of America. So what exactly would they find across the pond? When the ring came back from the testing center, everyone was utterly amazed to find out the true results. Because this ring had been part of a woman's favorite jewelry collection and had been wearing it for 30 years, the ring she had assumed was some sort of costume item was in fact a very real diamond ring. In fact, not only was it a genuine diamond, but it was a whopping 26-carat diamond. And that's not the only amazing thing they discovered. As you can imagine, the woman was utterly amazed by the true nature of what she had thought for so many years was just a normal ring. The testers explained that this diamond was not only a 26-carat one, but that it was a cushion-shaped white gem. And not only that, the testers also revealed that the precious jewel could date back as far as the 19th century. The woman was utterly in shock. How could they know that just from looking at it? Not only was the woman totally amazed by the truth of her much-loved ring, but she was also somewhat amazed at herself. After all, she'd had that ring on her finger for the best part of 3 decades. How could she possibly not have realized just how rare and beautiful this diamond really was? They'd been to quite a few car boot sales over the years, Wyndham also revealed. The question remains, just how could this seasoned shopper and bargain hunter not realize she had a real diamond on her hands? It's easy to wonder how this woman, a seasoned shopper and keen jewelry wearer, could possibly have kept that ring on her finger for 30 years and not noticed its specialness. But the truth is, there was no way that this regular woman could have noticed her ring was anything but regular. "They don't have any history of collecting antiques," explained Wyndham, "and they don't have any history of collecting diamonds. In these cases, you truly need an expert to reveal the truth about these things." And there was another revelation to come. It's amazing to realize that we, as regular people, simply don't have the expertise to realize that a true piece of genuine precious stone could be part of our everyday jewelry collection. And that's not even the only reason this woman didn't realize the truth of her very special ring. The other reason was because the ring had been made in the 19th century, a time when diamonds were cut incredibly differently. So just what was so different about diamonds in those days? The truth was, this diamond ring was made in the 19th century, and during this time, diamonds were cut very differently. Wyndham revealed that back in those times, diamond cutting was slightly duller and deeper than you would see in a modern style. Not only that, but she went on to say that the way it was cut could trick people into thinking it's not a genuine stone. But it doesn't make sense. Why would someone cut a diamond to make it look less valuable? The truth is, today we look at the value of a diamond in a very different way than people used to in the 19th century. To understand how this ring could have been created so differently, we have to look at how times have changed in the diamond business over the centuries. Wyndham opened up about how the industry works today, explaining that the diamond cutter is looking to maximize the amount of brilliance from the stone because that's what makes it sparkly. But we hear you ask, aren't diamonds always sparkly? Were diamond merchants in the 19th century not interested in sparkle? It's amazing to think that nowadays what constitutes a valuable diamond is its brilliance and sparkle, but back in the 19th century, things were seen very differently. Wyndham explained that the priority was put on weight and size rather than sparkliness. With an old style of cutting an antique cushion shape, the light doesn't reflect back as much as it would from a modern stone cutting, she said. Cutters worked more with the natural shape of the crystal to conserve as much weight rather than make it as brilliant as possible. Even though these older stones don't quite glimmer and sparkle the way we expect our diamonds to do these days, that doesn't mean that they don't have their own sort of beauty. You just need to look at it with a different perspective. The older stones have quite a bit of personality, Wyndham said of the diamonds cut and made back in the 19th century. They sparkle in a different way. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a stylistic feature could hide this diamond's true value. After this amazing discovery, everyone was in shock at the true nature of this diamond ring. And so people couldn't help but wonder, just how common was it to discover an everyday diamond is in fact a real gem? Wyndham revealed that not only was this a very unusual occurrence, but in fact it hardly ever happens. This is a one-off windfall, she said, an amazing find. The majority of us can't even begin to dream of owning a diamond that large. Of course, after the incredible discovery of this diamond's true value, there was another pretty pressing question on everyone's lips. The story of the diamond was of course amazing enough in itself, but everyone still wanted to know the true question of the mystery: just how much was the surprising mystery diamond really worth? And to find out, the ring was handed over to Sotheby's, who prepared it for auction. Once the stone would be sold under the hammer, its true worth would finally be revealed. As you can imagine, everyone was waiting with bated breath to see how much this surprise piece of history could well be worth. Jessica Wyndham would of course be interested from a professional point of view to see what sort of price such a rare find could truly fetch. But for the woman who bought it at a car boot sale all those years ago, it could truly be a life-changing discovery. And so the question remained, just how much money was the diamond worth? Everyone involved in the incredible story of this ring was truly on tenterhooks to find out the truth of its value. Wyndham was keen to finally solve this amazing mystery, and the woman who owned the ring simply wanted to know how much money was potentially in her hands. Though they were excited for the possibilities, no one was ready for the true amount that would shock them all, because this modest-looking ring was estimated at around $455,000. That's almost $500,000. But an estimation is one thing and the actual price of something is another. So how much did the ring end up costing? In June 2017, Sotheby's held an auction to sell this rare find, and as it turns out, the ring was sold for a bit more than expected. Can you believe it? According to Sotheby's official Twitter account, the ring was sold for a whopping £657,000. That's more than $900,000 US. Incredible. Can you believe that this ring, bought at a car boot sale and worn so regularly and casually for so many years, could really secretly be worth almost $1 million? It really makes you want to clear out your attic and look for some hidden gems, doesn't it? It's a life-changing amount of money, agreed Wyndham. No matter what your background is or what your past experiences have been, it's going to revolutionize someone's life. And so, for the owner of the ring, just what was in store for the rest of her life? Though she had undeniably been through an amazing experience, and her story of her much-loved ring's journey and its hidden value had hit headlines across the world, this woman made an unusual choice when it came to telling her story. Though she was happy for the world to know what had happened, the woman chose to remain anonymous, letting only her story be reported on without revealing the truth of her identity. Why would this woman not want to come forward with her name? The truth was, even though the owner of the ring was delighted by what happened, she didn't want her identity to be plastered all over newspapers and have everyone know her name. This might have been because she was a little shy or because she didn't want to invite security risks by publicizing her sudden wealth. Either way, Wyndham revealed that the mysterious woman was truly full of joy at what had happened, saying that she was incredibly excited. Anyone would be in this position. It's amazing to think that this woman simply picked up what looked like a bargain bin ring and slipped it on her finger all those years ago. When you buy a cheap piece of jewelry, what are the chances that you hang on to the item for so many years, not taking it off your finger for almost 3 decades? When you think about it, it's an amazing piece of luck that she didn't just lose this secret gold mine at some point over the years. Wyndham suggests that this was the work of serendipity, but in truth, there could have been another reason. The truth was, even though this diamond was so old that it had been cut in a different way, it still held its own beauty when you looked at it with the right perspective. Yes, it didn't have the same sparkle and shimmer as some of today's modern diamonds, but it was still special, and maybe it just took a special person to notice its power. A 26-carat cushion-shaped diamond, no matter how filthy or dark that mount was, maybe that stone still speaks to people, Wyndham mused. The story of this woman and her secretly super valuable ring spread far and wide throughout the world. The truth is, we all like to fantasize that one of our everyday objects could end up bringing us fabulous wealth. But as if that wasn't enough, the now famous car boot sale also had some other hidden gems on that fateful day all those years ago. They also bought some designer dresses for about £10, Wyndham revealed. We should have been at the car sale. We all love to dream of one day accidentally stumbling onto great wealth and uncovering a long-hidden secret of the past. In this woman's case, she ended up inadvertently doing both and hitting headlines around the world. The truth was, this woman was not looking for fame or wealth or glory. It simply fell into her lap as she went about her everyday life. It just goes to show that for each of us, no matter what walk of life we may be in, a miracle can happen to each and every one of us.